Hey guys, and welcome back today to episode number 1 of Roy's Road to the Euros. So the way this series is going to work is it's going to be a road to glory on FIFA 16, starting in Division 10, working our way up. Each episode is going to be dedicated to one Premier League team. So for example, episode number 1, that's going to be next Wednesday. Episode 2 is going to be next Saturday. I'm going to be uploading these Wednesdays and Saturdays. Episode 1 is dedicated to Arsenal. Now, I've asked quite a popular YouTuber, a very popular YouTuber actually, who you guys will probably know, I'm not going to tell you who it is yet, to send me in a video with 3 Arsenal players that he feels are good enough to be on the plane to the Euros. As well as that, there's also going to be an extra player, so like the main player, who I'm going to be having to do a football challenge, probably using this football, dedicated to that player in order to get that person on the plane. So we're going to be playing 3 FIFA matches per episode to unlock the first 3 players per club, and then after that the football challenge, which is going to allow me to unlock the 4th. Now obviously there are some clubs that have a lot more talented English players than others, so as the series progresses there's going to be a lot of changes to the Airbus. I don't know exactly what model this is, but you guys can see it right here. I probably expect England to have a private jet and they probably will have their own seat per row, but you know, that's irrelevant for this stage. And obviously we're still in February, there's a long way to go before Roy actually decides his exact 23 that are going to be on the plane. So my 23 that I'm going to predict today is pretty much going to be wrong, and I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments down below as to what changes you'd make to my 23. Now the first man on the plane, obviously there's been a few English goalkeepers in the Premier League this season that have had really good seasons. Jack Butland definitely is going to be on that plane, but the first man that I'm going to be putting on is Joe Hart. I think he is one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League, and he's definitely England's best keeper, so he's number 1. Secondly, it's the captain, it's Wayne Rooney. You know, a lot of people nowadays don't think Wayne is the player that he used to be, but he's a class act. He can come out of nowhere with a wonderful goal, he's a good captain, and obviously he's going to be on that aircraft. Jamie Vardy. Now if this guy doesn't actually start in England's team for the Euros, then there's certainly something wrong with the way that English football is being, well, it's just, there's something wrong with English football. If Jamie Vardy doesn't start for England at the Euros after the incredible season that he has had, there's just something wrong. Jamie Vardy for me is a 100% definite on the plane. He's even sitting next to the captain Wayne Rooney. He's in the front row. He's got the most leg room. He deserves it. Mr. Vardy is player number 3. Now the 4th player filling up the middle of the front row is going to be Harry Kane. I think an absolutely brilliant England striker. He can do anything. He can score with his head. He's brilliant with his feet. For me, Jamie Vardy and Harry Kane should be the 2 strikers that England use at the Euros, with Wayne Rooney probably playing just behind them in a number 10 role. But Harry Kane is on the plane for me, and he's also got a front row. Now player number 5 is just an absolute class act. Dele Alli 100% needs to be starting for England at the Euros. He's got a place in my front row. The guy's just a genius, you know. He scored so many goals this season, and whenever I watch Match of the Day, he's always in there with a goal of the month contender, or sometimes even 2. Sorry, 2. I shouldn't swear at you guys. Dele Alli for me, if he performs like he has done for Spurs this season, could potentially be the key to England getting through to the latter stages of the tournament. I think so far there's not really been much room for debate with the players that I've mentioned, but this one may well ask a few questions amongst a few of you. Now, for me, England's first choice centre-back this season is not going to be John Stones just yet, because I don't think he's had the best season for Everton. Even though he's had a good season, I don't think he's had his best season. Chris Smalling, though, for Manchester United, in a team that, you know, some people may get annoyed at me at saying this, and obviously as a Chelsea fan it's ironic I'm saying it, but I think United have been average. But I think one player that United have had that has been brilliant has been Chris Smalling. He really has come into his own. Me and him have had our little tiffs in the past when it comes to FIFA for various reasons. I think for me, he is England's first choice centre-back, and he's got a place in my front row. Moving on from him, another electric player who could play on the wing, he could play up front, Raheem Sterling. I think it took me a long time to sort of see what the attraction was to Sterling. You know, obviously he's a quick player, he's got a lot of flair, he's got a lot of skill. But for me, his finishing has always let him down. Like the amount of times in his last season at Liverpool, I saw him get one-on-one and just, you know, virtually just hand the ball to the goalkeeper because his shot was so bad. That used to annoy me about Sterling. But as this season has progressed for City, I can see what all the fuss is about when it comes to Sterling. For me, he could be a game changer for England as well. He's on the plane and he's in the front row. Now the final player that I'm sticking in the front row is, again, one that you guys may disagree with, but I'm going to be sticking Ross Barkley as the definite for the England squad. Now, obviously, in an England shirt, Jack Wilshere is always the player that seems to perform, but for a player that doesn't really play very much for Arsenal because of injuries, I can't really put him in my front row. So Barkley for Everton, he's had a great season, he's coming into some brilliant form just at the right time, not only for club, but hopefully for country as well. The man can score from anywhere, he's creative, he's young, and I think he could have a big part to play. So those are the 8 players that I definitely think are going to be on the plane. Now to fill up the rest of the seats. Now then, this is where it really starts to get interesting, because obviously between now and the end of the season, a lot's going to happen, and a lot of these players probably won't make it in the squad. But as of now, I feel as though there are quite a few questionable ones, but these are the players I've gone for to make up the rest of the squad. Most national teams actually take 3 goalkeepers to the Euros, but just because I had such a difficult time picking my outfield players, I've only put 2 England goalkeepers on the plane. Now that's probably going to be wrong, they'll probably take 3, they will take 3, but Jack Butland is England's second choice for me. He's had a wonderful season from Stoke, he's a brilliant shot stopper, he's basically got it all. He's right up there with Joe Hart. Butland is my number 2. Now we move on to the defenders. I'm going to stick Gary Cahill in there. He's obviously not had as many games for Chelsea this season as he would have liked, but he's a brilliant centre-back. I think he is going to be in there, or maybe on the bench. John Stones might start ahead of him. That leads me into the 3rd player, John Stones as well. So Cahill and Stones, I think, are England's 2 best centre-backs alongside Chris Smalling. Which one of them actually starts the matches, I'll leave it up to you to decide. I'll probably go with Stones and Smalling, although maybe they're a bit too young. Maybe Cahill's experience could be vital for England alongside either Smalling or Stones. I don't know, but they're 2 good players to have, so they're both on the plane for me. Moving on from there, we've got Leighton Baines. I don't think he's as good as he used to be, but obviously he was always the understudy to Ashley Cole. A lot of people debated about that again, but Ashley Cole always got the nod at left back for England. Leighton Baines has now got the position. Obviously, there's still Luke Shaw, there's Kieran Gibbs, players that could potentially be taking that spot from him, but for me, Leighton Baines is definitely going to be on the plane. And over the other side of the pitch, on the right-hand side, Nathaniel Clyne. I think he's had a decent first season for Liverpool. I don't think he's been as good of a player as he could be. Clyne's on the plane too. Now this man, I think, has had a very, very good season for Tottenham, and I definitely think he deserves a place on the plane. Whether or not he plays in defence or whether he plays in midfield, that's yet to be seen. But Eric Dyer, for me, for Spurs, has had a wonderful season. He's a wonderful player, can even score a few goals as well from the defensive positions. He, for me, is definitely going to be on the plane. And I'm also going to give a place to Kyle Walker. Now, as a footballer, Kyle Walker doesn't really convince me that much because I think he's too sloppy. He's got the pace, but I don't quite think he's the finished article when it comes to a defender. I think he'd probably be better at the right midfield position or something. But I'm definitely going to stick Kyle Walker in there. Let me know your thoughts on him in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts generally on what the England squad is going to be in the comments down below. And also, I've got an email that you guys can send in some little video clips so that you guys can give your opinion on individual players. I'd love for you guys to send in your video saying, like, I think this player should go to the Euros for what reason and whatnot. And I'll probably include those in the videos. I don't know if he's going to make it or not because of the injury that he had, but Luke Shaw was just starting to come into some great form for Man United, starting to show his class, had that horrible injury, and Van Gaal has said that maybe he could make it in time for the Europa League final. He's probably not going to make it on the plane to the Euros because of his injury, but I'm going to give a place to Luke Shaw because I think he is the future England left back and I think he's a world-class player. Now then, moving on to the midfield, I'm going to give a place to Jack Wilshere. Obviously, he's always injured, but when it comes to playing in an England shirt, Jack Wilshere is always brilliant. He's had so many man of the matches. He's got to be on the plane for me as long as he doesn't go and break a leg or an arm or whatever he's doing at the moment, getting injured again. Jack Wilshere's on the plane for me. Obviously, it's going to be very difficult to replace Steven Gerrard as Liverpool captain, but I think Jordan Henderson's doing a decent job. I don't think he's doing a great job, but I'm going to put Henderson on the plane. And also, I'm going to give a place to Fabian Delph, the Snake. I think he's definitely got a role in this England squad. I'm going to give a place to Adam Lallana as well. Now, I don't think he's been as good at Liverpool as he was at Southampton. I still think he's got a lot to offer Liverpool, and I think he's got a lot to offer England as well. So Adam Lallana's on the plane. Now moving into some more attacking positions, the good thing for England is they've got strikers or attackers. I don't really like saying strikers because the likes of Theo Walcott, who I'm putting on the plane, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, putting those guys on the plane. I think they could do a lot of jobs for England. I think if you need them as wingers, they can be wingers. If you need them to play up front, they could play up front. Oxlade-Chamberlain for me, definitely a winger, not a striker. But Theo could actually play up front. And the other player, I'm going to give the final spot to Daniel Sturridge. Now, whether he's fit, he's probably not going to be fit. The guy's injured virtually every week of his life. To me, that's pretty sad because he is a brilliant striker. He had that great season when Suarez was at Liverpool. Obviously, he used to play for Chelsea. He used to frustrate me a bit as a Chelsea fan because I felt as though in that naive stage of his career, he was shooting when he should have been passing, all of that stuff. But other than that aside, Daniel Sturridge is a world-class footballer, and I think if he's fit, he should definitely be on the plane. Whew, okay, that was a little bit long. Let me take a sip of water. Now those are the 23 players that I feel are going to be going to the Euros. Obviously they probably will take 3 keepers, there's going to be a lot of changes. I expect a lot of you guys to disagree with some of the players as well, so I'd love to hear why and which players you think should be going in the comments down below. As well as that, I've also left an email address in the top line of the description. I'd love for you guys to send in a video dedicated to a player that you think deserves to be in the Euros. Explain your reasoning behind it, explain where you think they fit in to Roy Hodgson's plans, and yeah, you guys may well be involved in the videos if you send them in. So that wraps up episode number 1. This was the prediction episode. Obviously when the series is finished, we can look back on this episode and say, you got that wrong, or that wasn't too bad of a prediction. The first proper episode where we get into the FIFA, we get into the football challenges, will be on Wednesday. Gonna be uploading these Wednesday and Saturday. I hope you guys have a great weekend and you're excited for this series. I'm buzzing for it. I'll catch you all later. Bye-bye. Oh, that failed miserably. You can still see my face.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen.
Paul Sailor is a real